Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Roy English Talk. Have you ever wanted to talk about your day in English but felt your words sounded a little unnatural? Maybe you translate directly from your language, and it just doesn't sound right. Don't worry, today I'll help you fix that. In this lesson, you'll learn how native speakers naturally describe their day, from morning to night, using simple, real-life English. Why natural English matters. Let's start with something most English learners have experienced. You know the grammar, you know the words, but when you speak, something feels off. It sounds a little too formal, too robotic, or just not how native speakers would say it. That's the moment you realize there's a difference between correct English and natural English. Natural English is what people actually use in daily life. It's the rhythm, the tone, and the choice of words that make you sound alive and confident, not like a textbook. For example, a textbook might say, "I awoke at 7 a.m. and consumed breakfast." But a native speaker would simply say, "I got up at 7 and grabbed some breakfast." Same meaning, completely different feeling. Now, here's the question. Why does this happen? Why do so many learners end up sounding unnatural? The truth is, most English classes focus on rules and grammar, not on real-life use. You're taught to be correct, not to communicate. You memorize sentences like, "How do you do?" But no one ever says that in real life. So you speak English that's technically right, but emotionally flat. Here's a little experiment. Think about how you talk in your native language. Do you speak with rhythm, emotion, and small fillers like "you know," "well," or "actually"? Probably yes. That's what makes your speech sound human. English is the same. Native speakers fill their sentences with small, natural connectors that make the conversation flow. They might say, "So I was kinda tired this morning," instead of, "I was tired this morning." That one small word, kinda, changes everything. It makes the sentence sound relaxed and real. So what's the secret? The secret is listening and noticing. The more you listen to real English, movies, YouTubers, conversations, the more your brain starts to feel the rhythm of natural speech. You start to understand when to shorten words, when to pause, and how to express emotions in simple ways. Let me give you another example. Imagine you want to say that your day was busy. A textbook version would be, "Today I was very busy and did many things." A natural version could be, "Man, today was packed. I barely had a minute to breathe." See the difference? The second one sounds more alive, more expressive, and it even shows emotion. Packed. Instead of busy, barely had a minute. Instead of did many things. That's the kind of language native speakers use when they're telling stories about their day. Now, this doesn't mean you should copy slang or sound fake. Natural English doesn't mean using like in every sentence or imitating accents. It means sounding real. You can sound natural even with a foreign accent. What matters is your choice of words and your comfort in using them. Many learners worry about mistakes, but native speakers make small mistakes all the time. They repeat words, change ideas mid-sentence, and use fillers like "you know" or "I mean." These things don't make you sound unprofessional. They make you sound authentic. So don't be afraid to speak freely. Think about this. When someone asks, "How was your day?" What do you usually say? Probably something like, "It was fine." But imagine if you could say, "Pretty good." "I had a ton of work, but I managed to finish everything." That's short, simple, and natural. And it tells a story. In this video, you'll learn to build sentences like that, step by step. We'll go through your entire day, from waking up to going to bed, and I'll show you real examples of how to describe everything you do in clear, natural English. So stay with me till the end, because once you learn these expressions, you'll be able to talk about your life confidently without sounding like a robot. By the end of this lesson, you'll notice that natural English isn't about being perfect. It's about being yourself in talking about morning routine. So, let's start the day, literally. When someone asks you, "How does your day usually start?" what comes to your mind? Most learners would say, "I wake up, brush my teeth, and eat breakfast." That's perfectly fine, but it sounds basic and robotic. Let's make it sound more natural. A native speaker might say, "I usually get up around 7, scroll through my phone for a bit, and then drag myself to the shower." See the difference? It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Let's break down your morning routine step by step, with natural phrases and real-life expressions. On waking up. Instead of saying, "I wake up at 7 a.m., try, "I usually get up around 7. I hit the snooze button a couple of times before I finally roll out of bed. I'm not a morning person, so getting up early is a struggle. Sometimes I just lie in bed scrolling through my phone before I actually get up." Tip: get up means to physically leave the bed, while wake up means to stop sleeping. Native speakers often use get up because it's more natural in conversation. Now, if you want to describe a typical weekday versus weekend, you could say, "During the week, I get up pretty early, but on weekends, I sleep in." Sleep in is another common phrase meaning wake up later than usual. It's a natural, friendly expression that adds rhythm to your English. 2. Getting ready. After getting up, what's next? Most people brush their teeth, wash their face, or take a shower. Let's make those sentences sound alive. Instead of, "I brush my teeth and take a shower." Try. "First thing I do is head to the bathroom to brush my teeth and wash my face. I jump in the shower to wake myself up. I take a quick shower and feel instantly more awake." These are simple but vivid expressions that sound like real conversation. Notice how we use verbs like jump in, head to, feel awake. These are the small details that make English natural. You can even add emotion. "I can't start my day without a shower. It makes me feel human again." 3. Breakfast time. Now it's breakfast. And this is where you can show your personality in English. Instead of the simple, "I eat breakfast every morning," say, "I grab a quick breakfast before work. I usually have some toast and coffee. Sometimes I skip breakfast if I'm running late. If I have time, I'll make eggs or oatmeal, nothing fancy." Notice how natural English uses contractions and softer connectors like "if I have time, I'll," and "nothing fancy." They make your speech smoother and more spontaneous. Tip: avoid saying, "I take my breakfast." It's grammatically correct in some countries. But in natural English, we say, "I have breakfast," or "I grab breakfast." If you want to sound conversational, try adding mini stories. "I usually have coffee, but if I'm extra tired, I'll go for a double shot of espresso. My mornings are always a bit rushed, so I eat something quick, like a banana or a granola bar." This makes your description sound human, not like a list of actions. 4. Getting dressed and leaving home. Let's move to the next part of your morning. Instead of saying, "I get dressed and go to work," try, "I throw on some clothes and get ready to head out. I check the weather before deciding what to wear. If it's cold, I grab a jacket. If it's hot, I go for something light." Tip: throw on is a very natural phrasal verb meaning to put on quickly. You can also say head out instead of go out. These phrases make your speech flow naturally. Now, if you work from home, you might say, "Since I work from home, I don't really dress up. I just put on something comfortable and start working. 5. Common connectors and natural flow. To make your story smoother, use small connectors like then, I. After that, usually I, sometimes, if I have time. For example, I get up around 7. Then I brush my teeth, take a shower, and grab some coffee. After that, I usually check my emails or read the news. This sounds organized but relaxed, exactly how native speakers describe their routines. 6. Optional add-ons. Modern morning habits. Many people now start their day with their phone, social media, or even meditation. Let's add natural ways to express that. The first thing I do is check my phone. I know it's a bad habit, but I can't help it. I usually scroll through Instagram or read a few messages before getting up. Sometimes I listen to a podcast while making breakfast. If I have a busy day ahead, I'll write a quick to-do list to organize my morning. Tip: don't worry about using phrases like, I know it's a bad habit. That kind of honesty makes your English sound more natural and personal. 7. Wrapping up the morning routine. To wrap up this section, let's look at a full natural paragraph combining everything. I usually get up around 7 and spend a few minutes scrolling through my phone. Then I jump in the shower, brush my teeth, and get ready for the day. I grab a quick breakfast, usually coffee and toast, and check my schedule. If I'm running late, I just grab something on the go. By 8, I'm out the door, ready to start my day. That short story is smooth, realistic, and easy to follow. You can adjust it depending on your lifestyle. Students can say, I head to school, or I log into my online class. Workers can say, I catch the bus, or I drive to the office. 8. Practice time. Now let's practice. I'll give you a few prompts, and you can try answering them in your own words. What time do you usually get up? What's the first thing you do in the morning? What do you usually have for breakfast? How do you get ready for work or school? What helps you feel awake in the morning? Try speaking your answers aloud using natural connectors. Then, after that, usually, sometimes. Don't worry about perfection. The goal is to sound natural and confident. Remember, the secret is not using big vocabulary. Talking about work or study day all right? You've made it through the morning. You're awake, dressed, and ready to start the day. Now it's time to talk about what most people spend most of their time doing: work or study. When someone asks, what do you do during the day? Or how's work going? Many learners answer with something very basic, like I go to work or I study English. That's okay. But let's make it sound more natural and expressive. 1. Starting the day at work or school. Instead of saying, I go to work at 9 a.m., you could say, I usually get to work around 9. I start work at 9, but I like to arrive a bit early. I get to the office just in time for the morning meeting. Tip: native speakers often use get to work instead of go to work. It sounds smoother and more conversational. If you're a student, you can say, I have classes from 9 to 3. I log into my online classes around 9. I start school early, so I'm always half asleep in the first class. Adding small emotions like half asleep makes your English sound more alive and personal. 2. Describing daily tasks naturally. Now, most learners say things like, I do my work, or I study English every day. That's fine, but we can make it richer and more human. Let's look at natural ways to describe what you actually do. For workers, I check my emails and plan out my day. I have a few meetings in the morning. I spend most of my time working on reports and answering messages. Sometimes I help my coworkers with their projects. The Mornings usually fly by because I'm busy. For students, I take notes during lectures and review them later. We usually have group work or discussions. If I don't understand something, I ask the teacher for help. Sometimes classes can be a bit boring, especially after lunch. Notice how these sentences sound real. They're not just lists, they're small, connected stories about your day. 3. Small talk and break time. Every job or school day has a few breaks, right? Talking about breaks is a great way to make your English sound natural and friendly. Instead of, I take a break at 10 a.m., you could say, I usually grab a coffee around mid-morning. We have a short break, so I chat with my coworkers. During the break, I scroll through social media or get some fresh air. If I'm studying, I just stretch or grab a snack. Tip: grab a coffee is super common in natural English. It means get a coffee quickly, very conversational. If you're talking about coworkers or classmates, we usually talk about random things, movies, food, or weekend plans. It's a nice way to relax before getting back to work. Adding details like this makes your daily routine sound interesting and alive. 4. Midday flow, keeping it natural. When describing what happens through the day, you can use connectors like after that, around noon, later in the day, by afternoon. Here's an example. After my morning meetings, I usually have some time to focus on my main projects. Around noon, I grab lunch with a coworker. Later in the day, I finish up reports and prepare for tomorrow. That's how native speakers structure their daily stories. Smooth, simple, and clear. If you study instead of work, try this. After my morning classes, I grab lunch with friends. In the afternoon, I usually do assignments or watch English videos to practice. Again, easy, natural, and relatable. 5. Common natural phrases you can use. Here are some useful everyday expressions that sound native. My schedule is pretty packed today. I've got a lot on my plate. Means you're busy. The morning went by so fast. I had back-to-back meetings. Work's been crazy lately. I've been trying to stay focused, but it's hard sometimes. These are phrases you hear all the time from native speakers. You don't need to use fancy grammar. Just these simple, natural sentences make you sound fluent. 6. Communication at work or school. How do you talk about your interactions naturally? Let's look at a few examples. At work, I usually check in with my boss in the morning. We have a quick team meeting to share updates. I send out a few emails and follow up with clients. At school, we often have group discussions or small projects. Sometimes, I study with friends after class. If there's a test coming up, we quiz each other. You can also describe your feelings during the day. By afternoon, I start to feel a bit tired. Sometimes I get distracted, especially when I'm working from home. Tip: showing your feelings, tired, focused, bored, adds life and personality to your story. 7. Staying productive and focused. Many learners want to explain how they stay productive. Here are some natural ways to say it. I try to stay organized by making a to-do list. I keep a water bottle nearby so I remember to drink. When I need to focus, I put my phone on silent. If I start to lose focus, I take a short break and come back. Notice how these sentences flow smoothly with connectors like when, if, and so. This is how natural English sounds in everyday life, connected, not robotic. 8. Wrapping up the work or study day. Now, how do you describe finishing your workday? Instead of I finish work at 5 p.m., say, I usually finish up around 5. I wrap things up before heading home. If I have extra work, I'll stay a bit longer. By the end of the day, I'm ready to call it a day. Call it a day is a supernatural expression meaning to stop working for now. For students, classes usually end around 3, and I hang out with friends before going home. After school, I sometimes go to the library or a cafe to study. And if you want to add emotion, by the end of the day, I'm completely drained, but I feel good when I've finished everything. 9. Practice time. Let's practice together. Try answering these prompts out loud. What time do you start work or classes? What kind of tasks do you usually do? What do you do during breaks? How do you feel by the end of your work or school day? How do you usually describe a busy day? Keep your answers short, simple, and real. Don't try to sound perfect. Try to sound you. 10. Key takeaway. Talking about your work or study day naturally means focusing on flow and emotion, not perfection. Use connectors, contractions, and real expressions like I usually, sometimes, and by the end of the day, once you build this rhythm, your English will. Talking about lunch and afternoon. Now that your morning work or classes are done, it's time for one of the best parts of the day, lunch. This is where most learners can make their English sound much more natural, because everyone talks about food, breaks, and how they spend their afternoons. Let's look at how native speakers describe this part of their day, with real-life expressions that flow naturally. 1. Talking about lunch, naturally. Many learners say, I eat lunch at 1 p.m. That's fine, but it sounds a little flat. Try these instead. I usually grab lunch around 1. I go out for lunch with coworkers. Sometimes I bring food from home. If I'm busy, I just eat something quick at my desk. Tip: grab lunch means eat lunch, but it sounds faster and more natural, something native speakers say every day. Here are a few more examples with different tones. I usually have lunch in the office cafeteria. If I have time, I like to go out and get some fresh air. When the weather's nice, we eat outside. If you're a student, you can say, I usually eat in the school canteen. Sometimes I buy snacks with my friends between classes. These details make your English sound friendly and relatable. 2. Describing what you eat. Instead of saying, I eat rice and chicken or I eat food, use simple, descriptive phrases like, I usually have something light, like a sandwich or noodles. Sometimes I treat myself to something special, like pizza or sushi. If I'm too tired to cook, I just order something online. Tip: adding something light, something quick, or something special makes your sentence sound natural. You can also express preferences naturally. I'm not a big fan of heavy lunches. They make me sleepy. I love trying different cuisines when I can. That's how native speakers casually talk about food and habits. Through after lunch feelings, now let's be honest. After lunch, everyone gets a little sleepy. So let's describe that in English naturally. After lunch, I always feel a bit sleepy. I get that afternoon slump around 2 or 3. A cup of coffee usually helps me stay awake. If I'm at home, I might take a quick nap before getting back to work. Tip: afternoon slump is a supernatural phrase. It means that tired, lazy feeling you get after eating. You can also describe how you deal with it. To stay awake, I usually walk around or drink some water. Sometimes I listen to music to keep my energy up, or getting back to work or study. When the afternoon starts, people usually get back to their main tasks. Here's how to describe it smoothly. After lunch, I get back to work and check my emails. In the afternoon, I usually have a few meetings. If I have energy, I try to finish the harder tasks first. I usually spend the afternoon finishing what I started in the morning. Tip: use transitions like after lunch, in the afternoon, or later on to make your sentences flow naturally. For students, after lunch, we usually have our hardest classes. I try to stay focused, but sometimes it's hard after eating. If I finish early, I review notes or do homework. For describing the mood of the afternoon. Afternoons can feel slow, busy, or peaceful, depending on the day. Let's see how to express that naturally. The afternoon usually goes by slowly. Things get a bit quieter after lunch. Sometimes the office gets really busy toward the end of the day. By 3 or 4, everyone's just waiting for the day to finish. Tip: phrases like goes by slowly, gets quieter, or toward the end of the day add natural rhythm and movement to your English. You can also describe your emotions naturally. If I'm having a good day, I feel productive. If I'm tired, I just do my best to get through it. 6. Taking short breaks or relaxing. Most people take a short break in the afternoon, and this is another great opportunity to sound natural. Around mid-afternoon, I take a short break to stretch. Sometimes I grab another coffee or snack. If I'm working from home, I might step outside for a few minutes. Tip: use grab for quick. Casual actions: grab a snack, grab a drink, grab a seat. You can even make it sound more personal. I love taking a short walk. It clears my head. Sometimes I just watch a funny video before getting back to work. These little moments make your story feel real and human. 7. Common afternoon tasks. Depending on your life, you can describe different activities. For workers, in the afternoon, I follow up on messages and finish up reports. I usually have meetings with clients or coworkers. I prepare things for the next day so I don't feel rushed tomorrow. For students, in the afternoon, I usually do homework or group projects. If I have free time, I review what we learned earlier. Sometimes I study at a cafe because it helps me focus. Tip: the word usually is your best friend. It's flexible and keeps your English natural. 8. Wrapping up the afternoon. As the afternoon ends, people start to prepare for the evening, and there are natural ways to talk about that too. By around 5, I start to finish things up. I check what's left to do and make a plan for tomorrow. If I finish early, I like to relax a bit before dinner. By the end of the afternoon, I'm ready to switch off and chill. Tip: finish things up, switch off, and chill are very common informal expressions. They mean to stop working and relax. If you're a student, by 4 or 5, classes are done, and I just hang out with friends or head home. 9. Example: natural paragraph. Here's a full natural example that ties everything together. Around noon, I usually grab lunch with my coworkers. If I'm busy, I'll just eat something quick at my desk. After lunch, I always feel a bit sleepy, so I grab another coffee to wake up. The afternoon usually goes by slowly. I check emails, join a few meetings, and finish up reports. By around 5, I'm ready to wrap things up and head home. See how natural and relaxed that sounds? It's not complicated. It's just real and flowing. That's what we want to achieve when you talk about your day. 10. Practice time. Let's practice together. Try answering these prompts out loud. What time do you usually have lunch? Do you eat alone or with other people? What do you usually eat for lunch? How do you feel after lunch? What kind of things do you do in the afternoon? Keep your answers short, connected, and real, as if you're telling a story to a friend. 11. Key takeaway. The afternoon part of your day doesn't have to sound boring in English. Use natural connectors, contractions, and emotional words to bring it to life. Expressions like grab lunch, feel sleepy, wrap things up by the end of the day. Talking about evening routine. So, the day's almost over. You've worked, studied, eaten lunch, maybe even had a long commute, and now it's evening. This part of your day says a lot about you, how you relax, recharge, or get ready for tomorrow. Let's explore how to describe your evening routine in natural, friendly English. 1. Coming home or finishing the day. Many learners say, I go home after work. That's totally fine, but we can make it sound smoother and more real. I usually head home around 6. I leave work at about 5:30 and get home by 6. Traffic is usually bad, so it takes me a while to get back. If I'm lucky, I finish early and get home before sunset. Tip: head home and get home are more natural than go home. Native speakers use them all the time. If you work or study from home, you can say, since I work from home, I just shut down my laptop and relax for a bit. When I finish studying, I take a few minutes to clear my mind before dinner. These small phrases make your speech sound personal and authentic. 2. Talking about dinner. Dinner is one of the easiest topics to make sound natural. Instead of, I eat dinner at 7, try, I usually have dinner around 7. Sometimes I cook, but other times I just order in. If I'm too tired to cook, I'll grab something simple. On weekends, I like to try new recipes. Tip: order in means to order food for delivery. Grab something simple is a casual way to say you eat something quick. You can also add detail to make it more engaging. I like eating dinner with my family because that's when we catch up. If I'm eating alone, I usually watch something on YouTube or Netflix while I eat. I try not to eat too late, or I'll feel too full before bed. Eat relaxing after a long day. Evenings are about relaxing, and there are so many natural ways to talk about that. After dinner, I just chill for a bit. Sometimes I watch a show or scroll through social media. If I've had a stressful day, I take a walk to clear my head. I love listening to music in the evening. It helps me unwind. Tip: chill, unwind, and relax all mean similar things, but chill sounds the most casual and native-like. You can also say, I like catching up on my favorite series. Sometimes I call a friend or chat with my family. If I'm feeling productive, I'll read a few pages of a book. All of these are natural, flexible, and easy to adapt to any culture or lifestyle. 4 evening chores or tasks. For many people, evenings aren't only about relaxing. Sometimes there are still things to do. After dinner, I clean up the kitchen. I usually do the dishes and tidy up the living room. If I have clothes to wash, I'll do a quick load of laundry. Sometimes I prepare my lunch for the next day. Tip: tidy up means to make things neat or organized. It's more casual than clean. These small details make your English sound natural and complete. Instead of a list, you're painting a picture of your real evening life. 5. Evening work or study, if needed. Some people still work or study a bit in the evening, and here's how to talk about it naturally. If I have deadlines, I'll do a bit of extra work after dinner. Sometimes I study at night because it's quieter. I like reviewing what I learned earlier in the day. If I have an online class, I usually join it in the evening. Tip: adding time phrases like sometimes, if I have, and usually keeps your English flexible and natural. 6. Winding down before bed. This is one of the most important parts of your routine, and native speakers often use casual, relaxed language for it. Before bed, I like to unwind. I usually take a shower and brush my teeth. Sometimes I watch a bit of TV or scroll through my phone. If I'm trying to sleep early, I put my phone away and read a book. Tip: unwind means to relax slowly, to calm down after a busy day. It's a beautiful, natural word for evenings. You can even add emotional touches. I love quiet evenings. They help me recharge after a long day. If I'm feeling stressed, I light a candle or listen to calming music. This makes your English sound warm and real, not mechanical. 7. Talking about sleep and rest. Finally, the end of the day, bedtime. Instead of, I go to bed at 10, say, I usually go to bed around 10. Sometimes I stay up too late watching videos. If I'm really tired, I fall asleep as soon as my head hits the pillow. I try to get at least 7 hours of sleep. Tip: fall asleep means the moment when you start sleeping. As soon as my head hits the pillow is a funny, very natural expression meaning you sleep immediately. And if you want to describe your nights naturally, before I sleep, I think about my plans for tomorrow. Sometimes I scroll through my phone until I realize it's midnight. I always tell myself I'll sleep early, but that never happens. These honest, casual sentences are what make English storytelling sound human. At example, natural paragraph. Here's a full, natural paragraph summarizing the evening. After work, I usually head home around 6. If traffic's bad, it takes me about an hour to get back. Once I'm home, I take a quick shower and grab some dinner. Sometimes I cook. Sometimes I just order something simple. After dinner, I chill for a bit and watch YouTube or listen to music. Before bed, I brush my teeth, check my phone one last time, and then finally fall asleep around 11. It's easy, natural, and relatable. Exactly how native speakers casually describe their evenings. 9. Practice time. Now it's your turn. Try answering these questions in your own words. What time do you usually get home? Do you cook dinner or order food? How do you relax in the evening? What's your bedtime routine like? What helps you fall asleep faster? Practice saying your answers out loud. The more you speak, the more natural your rhythm becomes. 10. Key takeaway. Talking about your evening routine naturally means adding emotion, movement, and real-life details. Don't just list actions. Tell your story. Use phrases like head home, chill for a bit, grab dinner, unwind, and fall asleep. They make your English. You did it! You've just learned how to talk about your entire day in natural English, from waking up in the morning to going to bed at night. Let's do a quick recap of everything we've covered today. 1. Morning routine. In the morning, you can say things like, I wake up around 7. I take a shower, brush my teeth, and get ready for the day. I usually grab a quick breakfast before leaving. Natural tip: use short verbs and connectors, and, then, after that. They make your English sound fluent and smooth. 2. Going out and work-talk-study routine. When you talk about leaving home or working, I head to work around 8. Traffic is usually bad in the morning. I start working at 9 and check my emails first. For students, I take the bus to school. I usually chat with my friends before class starts. Keep your sentences flexible and alive, not robotic. 3. Lunch and afternoon. For lunchtime, use natural phrases like, I grab lunch around 1. After lunch, I feel a bit sleepy. In the afternoon, I usually finish my work and prepare for the next day. Natural connectors. After lunch, later in the afternoon, by around 5. 4. Evening routine. In the evening, describe how you relax. I usually have dinner around 7. After dinner, I just chill and watch something. Before bed, I brush my teeth and read a bit. Key phrases: head home, chill for a bit, unwind, fall asleep. These make your English sound warm and natural. 5. Full day example. Now let's put everything together into one smooth daily story. I wake up around 7, take a shower, and have a light breakfast. I head to work around 8 and start my day by checking emails. Around 1, I grab lunch with coworkers, then get back to work and finish things up by 5. After that, I head home, cook dinner, and relax while watching a show. Before bed, I unwind with some music and fall asleep around 11. See how natural and easy that sounds? It's not about using fancy words. It's about rhythm and flow. 6. Speaking practice. Now it's your turn. Repeat after me, and try saying it in your own words too. I wake up around. I usually grab. After lunch, In the evening, I like to. Before bed, I. Record yourself speaking. Listen to your rhythm and try to sound smooth, not fast. Native speakers sound natural because they connect ideas, not because they speak quickly. Learning to talk about your day might sound simple, but it's one of the best ways to build real conversational confidence. These everyday topics are what make your English sound truly global, natural, and human. Remember, you don't need perfect grammar to sound fluent. You just need real expressions and practice. So keep repeating these phrases, use them in daily conversations, and most importantly, make English part of your real life. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more natural English lessons, and share it with a friend who's learning too. The more you practice,